Today, side shoot only little tiny cheap mower. They're really nothing all that spectacular, just an engine on a frame, and that's about it. The problem with this one is that it surges. It has the older style on there, which is probably the most resilient of all of them. If you see two of these next to each other, one has a newer engine, the other one has this type, buy this one. You'll just be happier in the long run, so take that information to heart. Let's see. Let's go outside. Anyway, garage dog is having a little bit of a party. Let me go fix that party. Okay, where was I? So, this is a pretty simple little fix. This is gonna just require, hopefully, what we have here right now. 3/8, half-inch, flat head. Oh yes, almost forgot. Phillips head. And that's it. There's only two reasons why that would, well, two main reasons why it would happen. This is one of them. The other one is there's a little cavity in here that might have a little water in it. I don't suspect that because how these work, but either way we're going to find out. So, first step, to fix the surging, we're going to look at it. I have the air filter on there. And I suppose the air filter could also be a problem, but more likely it's not. Yeah, it's not. That's perfect. One of the items that could possibly cause this is the overtension on the throttle. That is perfectly fine. I don't see any problem. It should be like that though. But either way, that's not going to cause our problem. These have a wind vane throttle, so in here there's a big fan that spins with the motor, and it blows this little piece out, and that causes the throttle to change high or low. Try and keep it at a certain RPM. That's why there's that spring there. So I don't think that's our problem. Our next step is going to be remove the tank with the carburetor. Very first thing is 3/8. Next, half-inch. There's a bolt on the side over here. It's pretty easy to find. Now, very carefully, you should be able to pull out until it's loose, like so. Hold the linkage and bend down so try not to stab yourself and make yourself start bleeding, but if you do, try not to break that in the process. I was only 50% successful. That's pretty clean though. That's surprising. So, next, we're going to take the breather off. There's 5 screws here. And take each and every one of them out. In my car, because I mean car, not an actual truck or anything, but a car that I drive as a daily driver, I keep a small little DeWalt bed that came with the impact set, and in there I keep a couple primary tools, because once or twice I've had where I've gotten a phone call, can you help? I know exactly what's wrong. I'll just go out there. The tools that I put in there are exactly these, and inside there's kits like these, because this is a very common engine, and a couple other kit like things, but the reason why I bring that up is this is a very simple machine. You don't need to be overly cautious on it. Like, you're not going to break it unless you really try to. As long as you have a little bit of common sense, you'll be fine. Okay, so this is a fuel filter. That looks very clean. How it works is this goes into the tank, fuel comes up, goes into a little cavity which is right there, gets sucked up through the jet into the motor. Now that jet is a predetermined size. It looks fine though. Something that can happen, oh, I think I see the problem already. Anyway, what can happen is water can go into this whole pool this sits into. Something, oh no, it's right here, okay, good. There's a little spring that's usually there, I just didn't see it. What happens with these over time is this gasket set gets old. And it's pretty nasty. There's also pinched. That could very well be the problem there too. Well, either way, we're not going to keep any of it. There appears to be no water and the little cavity is clean, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I am going to do though, now this is a little bit harder when you're in a car without an air compressor, but I'm going to blow out the little bits on the carburetor, just the two main tubes. These are probably one of the most basic carburetors you will ever find. The old ones were made out of metal. These newer ones are plastic. Which I never thought I'd say this, but the plastic ones are a little bit easier. This has a little bit of a fold in it, unfortunately. We'll put that on. The order of how you put it on. So this little flexible rubber piece goes on the bottom on the carburetor, and then the gasket, on the tank. The gasket surface mates up with the carburetor. I put it on the carburetor first, but you don't have to. You can put it on the, I'm going to expand the tank first. You can put it on the carb and put it on the tank. I just find this to be a lot easier. And like I said, make sure you have that spring installed. In fact, we'll just do a double check. Oh boy, did I not put it on there? No, I did not. See what I mean? Spring inserted. The only drawback that's kind of with this plastic carb is I don't like the older ones. I mean, you could put a little pressure on there. I mean, they're metal, they're pretty rough. These are plastic. They don't tend to take pressure too much. You could crack it at the least. The other thing is you can warp it. So when you put these on, do a crisscross pattern like I am. There are people on the internet that will say it has to be in a certain type of pattern. It doesn't. Just make sure it's crisscross. And when you put it on, snug but not tight. And if for any reason the gasket or the diaphragm, the little rubber piece, is not, or is getting in your way when putting this on, don't just power your way through it. Take it off, move it around, make sure it's perfectly seated on there, and call that good. Now the way to test it is you'll be able to press the primer bulb and you should see fuel come out of here. Let's try it. It's going to take a couple times to prime it though, so beware. Oh, there we go, I took two. pretty successful in my book. So you do want to make sure to put this on first, because if you put it on later, it could be problematic. Now, remember how this came off. It's pretty simple. And also there's two sets of, there's one set of O-rings in there, and there's a plastic piece that keeps the O-ring in place. Make sure both of those pieces are still there. Usually they stay with the carb. In this case it did with me. If it stays with the intake, that's fine. Just make sure that you put them on. If you don't, that's a recipe for an intake leak. Intake leaks cause leanness, which could also be part of the problem. Okay, so, oh, we forgot the fuel filter. Okay, I'm gonna take that apart when you see that again. This is why always good to keep your parts in the same place. Usually I do in the carb station, but this time I decided not to. I'm gonna put this back on and be right back. Okay, so that's done. We're gonna put this on the top. This is the air filter gasket. The correct way of putting these on is the flat end on the front of the engine. It will look weird, and I will make fun of you. People have their own pet peeves, and that's mine. I see these on the internet all the time. They're about 80% of the time backwards, which is odd because it's not like it even fits very well. But anyway, that's a different story for a different day. Okay, so I'm going to put this down, rearrange you, and then be right back. Okay, so we're on the floor. Before this, I already checked oil, it's fine. Like we saw, the air filter, it's fine. The plug is not horrible, but it does work. So, and the tank is non-ethanol fuel. It's like, it's too rich. Let's look at that plug. It's blacker than black. So RJ 1911, so that's fine. The gap is a little wide. Not horrible. Let's put a brand new one in and see what happens. Because a poor spark can cause this. Not all the gases are combusting properly. It's very rare, but it can happen. Try this again. So obviously that didn't work very well. Something I noticed when I took the air filter off, there's gas pouring out of the side of the car. That means it's not sealing well. So this is a fix that you could do. I don't think it's a great fix, but it's something you can do. You put the old gasket and the new gasket together, and it kind of makes it thicker, because what happens now is the car's warped. I would recommend just getting a new one, but that's what happens. Let's give it a pull. So I would run for a good 10 minutes outside before this to make sure, and it seems to be doing fine. But like I said, that's not the best fix in the world, but you potentially could do it. I already bought a new carb. I'm just going to put a new carburetor on this, but in a pinch, that's what you could do. Well, if you like this, definitely like, subscribe. I'll see everyone later.